Hi, my name is Daniel, and today I will be demonstrating how to use connectors in SharpCloud. By the end of this video, you'll know how to create and configure your own connector to pull information in from your external data sources. In order to access connectors, select the drop-down next to Story, and then select Data Connectors. You can create a new connector by selecting Add a New Connector or Add New at the bottom. Here, you can quickly add a title and an optional description, and when you're satisfied with those, select Next. Here we're presented with all of the connectors that we offer today. You can use CData Cloud or CData Server, depending on if you're on-prem or in the cloud, in order to access over 250 additional business sources. Today, we'll use Excel Online. Regardless of the connector that you choose, the experience of connecting to your data will always be the same. There will be three main steps in using every connector. First, to connect to your data, then to map, and then to evaluate the result. In this case, to connect to the data, I'll select Authenticate to authenticate into O365. Once I'm authenticated in, I'll choose my dataset, in this case my workbook, that I want to pull information from. Now that I've chosen my dataset, I can select Next. Now that we've connected to our data, the next step is to map the data in our data source into SharpCloud. Here, I can first select which table, or in this case, which spreadsheet in my workbook I want to pull into SharpCloud. In this case, let's pull in our program data. Next, I'll need to select a category to pull my item information into. It's important to note that with connectors in SharpCloud, each connector is only meant to pull one category into the story. So if you have multiple categories that you want to pull in, you'll need to create separate connectors for each category. Connectors also require some sort of unique identifier to pull information into. This could be an external ID, a project number. You could use name if you wish, as long as the names are unique. Or SharpCloud can provide its own ID. It is a best practice to have some sort of identifier in your dataset, and in this case, I have external ID, so I'll select that. Now that I've selected my table, my category that I want to push information into, and my external ID, I can go through my attributes and see which ones I want to pull into the story. The external field column shows all of the attributes or columns in my spreadsheet, and the SharpCloud field shows whether or not it's mapped into the SharpCloud story. In this case, my connector recognizes name and priority because they're already a part of the story that I'm in, but it does not recognize my other attributes. I can include these attributes into my story by selecting the dropdown for that attribute in the SharpCloud field column and either choosing new, or if for whatever reason there's already an attribute that I want to push that information onto, I can choose it in this dropdown here. But in this case, I'll select new, and finally I'll just need to specify what type of attribute I'm pulling in. So we're creating an attribute named cost, that's of the type numeric. I could also change the name of the attribute right in here, but in this case, I just want to keep it the same as the data source. I can go through and do the same for all of the rest of my attributes. So impact will be a list, my start and end dates will be dates, RAG status will be a list, and my risk will also be a list. Finally, if I want to, I can also filter any of these attributes. So for example, if I wanted to take only my high and medium impact projects and leave my low impact out of the data that gets pulled in, I could select the filter dropdown and I could check high and medium here. But in this case, I want to pull everything through. Just before moving on, you can always select View Source Data to see the information that will be coming into your SharpCloud story. So you can see that I have 7 programs, and here are all of the attributes that I'm pulling in. Once I'm satisfied with mapping, I can select Next, and then I will be shown the result. You can see my 7 programs. You can see all of the attributes being pulled through. New records will always show up in blue, and any modified fields or attributes on existing items will be shown in yellow. In this case, all of the information is new, so everything is highlighted in blue. Once I'm satisfied with the data that I'll be pulling in, the final step will be to select Synchronize in the top right in order to push that information into the SharpCloud story. Now we can see that my items have been pulled in using the connector. Thank you for watching, and for any additional questions, please refer to the SharpCloud knowledge base.